Hey there.
Hey guys,
Hey. How are you?
I'm good.
Make sure the
And
volume
you?
good. Can you hear us okay?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
You set that door, sorry. Yeah. Is that light okay, or do you want to pull that light off too? There you
Oh,
go.
yeah, that's great. That's great. Cool. Hey, thanks for joining me.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Appreciate you taking your time out. I appreciate the patience in getting this set up.
Yeah,
Been a
no
long
problem.
time coming.
Cool. Yeah.
Um, I just want to start real quick with a little introduction, just for the podcast. So I'm talking with Joe and Ben of Palm Ghosts, right?
Yep.
And I want to get your last name right, Joe Lekkas.
Lekkas.
Or Lekkas. Okay. So it's Joe Lekkas and Ben Douglas. I can do that one. Yeah, the
Blah.
band Palm Ghosts.
Blah.
And I actually got put in touch with you guys through Jim Anderson, my friend Jim Anderson, who I met through this podcast, who does music under Airedale. And I think he knew you, Ben, a little more.
Yeah.
I think he said he maybe talked to Joe once or maybe met Joe, but he
Yeah,
said
he
you
came to a
guys.
show in Philly and met
Oh
Joe.
yeah.
I used to play with Jim back in when I lived in Baltimore.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Yeah. And so he said you should check them out, and you guys are awesome. I love
Yeah,
it all. I love it all. And there's so much to love, right?
yeah,
Um,
we have a lot of stuff.
um, and we'll get into like the music and stuff. I've been listening to nothing but you guys for a while. I started listening several months ago, and of course lately I like to prepare a lot and get into the lyrics a lot and listen to the music a lot. So I've got all your songs like going through my head, and they keep switching off between different songs. um, and it's
Uh,
been awesome.
Are you I've actually you were frozen for about a minute.
Was I frozen? Okay.
Yeah, it says my internet. Why would my internet be unstable? I'm down here, and it's always fine down.
So it
Yeah,
got
sorry I
recorded,
didn't
but
hear. You were saying that you were listening to you just
yeah,
discovered our
okay. So
stuff
I don't
and
know
you
what you missed. I could say it again. Yeah, I've been listening to you guys, since Jim introduced me to you guys back in the fall. I've been listening to you guys a lot. And then of course, I like to prepare a lot. I like to get into the lyrics a lot. I like to really get the music embedded in me. And so I've been listening to nothing but you guys
oh,
lately. I went on vacation on a cruise and um just did a lot of listening, got back, and I've got one or the other of your songs like going through my head, these little lines. So it's been really great. And I keep
what's the
loving it
long-term
more.
effects mentally of someone listening to us that long?
We'll have to do a study. I don't know. I gotta get some more people.
do we
Or
pair
connect with,
well with
I gotta connect.
vacation?
I got, yeah. Well, the thing about that was I was on a cruise like to the Virgin Islands, so it was like I didn't have a lot of connection during that time. So during that time, I was like taking little notes and stuff on my phone and stuff like that, and
That's cool.
but yeah, it was cool. But and we're gonna get, I don't know what all you missed, but I said we'll get into the music and stuff more. But I just wanted to. I've read a little bit of kind of the beginning or the way things began, but I kind of wanted to just hear you talk about how things started. I think you were in Philadelphia.
Yeah, I'm from
Yeah,
Philly.
so if you could, and I read a little bit. I don't want to make you talk about anything you're not comfortable talking about.
I'm
But
fine.
I think I read a little thing about some anxiety and maybe that led to uh, some of this and some artistic output. So if you could just
Yeah.
talk about how it started and how your musical beginning started, you can both talk about that.
Yeah, I mean I've been playing guitar since I was a kid and was in bands through in Philly for years and years. And you know, I as I was getting older, I stopped playing as much. It became more of just a fun kind of, thing to do on occasion. I was working in booking in Philly. Like I used to book clubs and worked in some marketing. That's what I went to college for and was getting really caught up. And I was doing this festival in Philadelphia called the Philly Film and Music Festival. And it was a lot. It was a lot to battle. It was kind of a bummer. So I kind of locked myself in my studio in Philly and started coming up with different song ideas, and basically learned how to record and everything in 2013
Mhm.
for that first record. So it was basically me and Walt, the drummer that's currently in the
Mhm.
band, was on that first record because we had been playing together since we were kids. Um, and some friends of mine would come in, and it was more of like a indie folk thing at the time. Like I was listening to a lot of
Yeah.
Bon Iver and like Iron and Wine and like a lot of like rootsier stuff at
Hmm.
the time. So, a little bit of psychedelic, but it was like it was kind of a mellow record and put that out. And then the music thing still wasn't really happening in Philly. So I was like, you know what, I could either like give up on this music thing and just do some job that I don't really care so much about, like, or I could, double down and ask my wife if she wants to uproot our entire lives and move to Nashville. Luckily, she could get a job here pretty easily because she's in the medical field.
Oh
So we
yeah.
did. And we moved here in 2014 and bought a bunch of musical stuff, equipment and recording gear. I didn't bring much recording gear from Philly, but I got like updated stuff. And right when I moved here, I had met Ben. He put an ad on Craigslist looking for new songwriters that had just moved to Nashville as he had. And we
Nice.
called up like,
Craigslist. Nice.
yeah, which is kind of crazy. It was the first weekend I moved to Nashville. And then we just started like over time. I played in his band playing bass, and we would co-write stuff together. He would contribute to stuff that I was writing and recording for that Palm. It became Greenland, that record Greenland, which was a lot more of a mix of different stuff, kind of
Mhm.
transitioning to electronic and stuff. And Ben did a lot of piano and guitar and co-writing on that, and just giving me ideas. Like I let him hear it, and he'd say, "Oh, what about this and that?" And I'd work on his record, and we just started doing that a lot. And I think somewhere around 2017 or 18, where like I was like, it'd be really cool to like
Yeah.
do a band thing, like actually play live for this stuff. And I'm actually interested in kind of doing the stuff I grew up with, which was a lot of like the new wave post-punk kind of stuff. I'm like starting to just say, well, I've been doing all these different types of music for so long. Let me do the thing that I heard first. It was either that or metal. That's what I grew up with,
Hmm. Yep.
and that's it. So we put a band together, and he's like, "I'll do it if I play guitar." And I'm like, "Cool." And he ended up playing everything, like keyboards, guitars for a while, and
Yeah.
we put a band together. And we've been through so many members already, and it's been since 2018. So that's the
Nice.
journey of that. Yeah.
You had anything to add to that, Ben? Or is that well
I
put?
mean, as far as like, I mean, pretty much same story. I mean, I wasn't stressed out with being in the music business because I wasn't really doing that in Maryland. But I stopped playing for a long time. Like when I started playing again. I played with Jim from Airedale. I played with some friends back home, and then one of those friends ended up moving here, so I followed him here. Then I ran
Gotcha.
into Joe, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Like I never planned on like when he brought this up. I never even thought about like playing that kind of music necessarily. I think I kind of did sort of when I was younger. Like I didn't realize what it was because I'm a little bit younger, but yeah, it was a I thought it was just a fun project to be part of at the time.
So there's lots of musicians involved in bands and stuff. Like, did you guys just kind of mesh also, like personality
Yeah,
wise and
I think since our fatal Craigslist meeting, I think things went pretty well.
Yeah, we just started. We had both
nobody
come
ended up
to
in a
town.
trunk?
Yeah.
Yeah, we had both come to town the same time-ish, and like we're both from the Northeast.
Yeah.
And we kind of liked a lot of the same music. You know what I mean? Could connect on a
Yeah.
lot of different artists, but
You had
like
all those
different.
commonalities. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we would just like go out all the time and meet a bunch of people. And then for a while, we were like filming songwriters, and we had a little group called Flour
Oh,
Sack Cape, where we would like film songwriters. And then we had like a little label, and I would record artists here, and we would just it was a cool little collective of different people. And he had the same mindset as me of like doing that. We dedicated a lot of time to helping other songwriters and getting them launch their careers or whatever they needed. And then it was a time where we're like, hey, let's do our thing and try this thing, and just kind of wiped the slate clean and really started focusing on doing this. And since then, I just because we record in this room that you're in right here, and like the
Mhm.
studio at my house, it's just so much music constantly. So we have like an enormous back catalog in addition to how many records we have and EPs out. We have like 70 unreleased songs, you know?
Yeah, I think I listened to another podcast you guys are on, and I think I heard you say you have like a little drive or something with a whole bunch of unfinished songs on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they're
We
finished.
joke and say we're the guided by voices of
Darkwave.
Darkwave.
That's not a bad title to have.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Not a
not
bad
really
title.
Darkwave. That's the other thing.
Whatever.
So, since you mentioned Nashville, I think I had this like this question slash comment a little further down, but since you mentioned it, I think a lot of people have the image of Nashville of country music, but it's really a hub of music now, like all sorts of types of music. There's a lot of people moving there to do music, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a lot of musicians in one spot, and I think it's musicians a lot. Some of them naturally are countercultural, so it was a lot of Americana when we first got here, but like
Mhm.
once it starts becoming the same, musicians want to stick out, so they start making a lot more cooler bands. So it's just having this many artists in one spot. It just makes it
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
a boiling pot for all things.
Yeah, it was like it was a wave we saw. Like when we first came here, like Jason Isbell was just coming out, and like and Sturgill Simpson was huge, and just a lot of stuff in the Americana world was happening, and everybody was playing it. Like everybody sounded the same and doing the same thing. And then everybody, like the pandemic hit, and now everybody's like doing their rock thing. So like Nashville's like become very different in that way, where it's like you used to say, oh, what kind of music do you play, and someone would say Americana, and now it's like you would never say that. You'd say rock or like whatever.
yeah.
It's
Nobody wants to
losing
use that
more
term
diversity.
anymore, regardless of what the music they're making, right?
Yeah, it's like it just was like too much, for a while.
Yeah. So, yeah, I heard a little bit about this on the other podcast, I think, but if you could talk a little bit about your songwriting process and how that works between you two.
Yeah, it's different, but it's been consistent for a while. So like well, we were saying it last week, like Ben he has got a little 16 track recorder it's like 16 tracks, right?
Yeah.
Multi-track recorder, like a digital one from a long time ago.
Yeah.
And he was always throwing ideas down on this thing, like multiple ideas a week, usually in waves, get busy with work and other stuff. But like so he sends a bunch of these ideas to me. Actually, the other day I was going through some ones I was going through again, and there's hundreds of them, just these different half completed songs and ideas from like lyrics that Ben has written and puts together. So then I'll get a lot of these things, and then I'll go through them and I'll go, oh, that's got this part, or that's kind of cool. And then I'll take it and then develop songs. Some of them are almost complete, but just have to be recorded better. Some of them are not at all complete, and I'll have to
Hmm.
rearrange them. Or some of them I just think, what if I change this and that? And then we build it that way. And then Walt usually comes in last, the drummer, and it's all put together. And he comes in and adds his absolutely kind of crazy drum stuff over the finished songs. So classically, back in the day when we were younger, we'd all just sit in a room, we'd jam, we get together, like, oh, that sounds kind of cool, let's do that. It's a very difficult way to write, everybody fights when you do that. This was
Uh,
an easy way to work together. Everybody gets their parts together on the song, and then Ben will usually come in then after that, add guitar parts, or if he'll add vocals or all sorts of different stuff. And then there's other times where I'll complete a whole thing and then send it to Ben, and Ben will write lyrics to that. Or Walt during the pandemic would send grooves to me via iPhone, and I would take those grooves, drop them into Pro Tools, and mess with them and build songs that way. And then when Jason Springman was in the band, we used to, during the pandemic, we didn't see each other for a good 18 months. So I would take Walt's beats, I would send, I would add bass and a structure to them. I would send it to Jason. Jason would add a guitar line to stuff. Then we'd send it to Ben, and then Ben would listen to the melodies and the parts and top line it, basically write the lyrics and the melodies for it, bring it back to me, and I would like layer the vocals and synths and other stuff to finish it up, send it back to Walt, and he's like, what the heck is this? And I'm like, well, yeah, you wrote the basic idea. So all different ways, but they're the ways that we've been doing it for years now, you know.
Yeah, it sounds like you touched on my follow-up question to that, which was, you know, the process, the classic, I think you called it the classic process of getting a band together and bringing ideas and kind of jamming and doing like that, versus, you know, now there's all the DAWs and there's the sounds you can share different ways. You know, what, there's pros and cons to both of them. Does the modern process allow for more creativity in some ways? Or, I mean, as
I mean,
far as,
for me,
you know,
it
how do
does.
you
I mean,
feel?
the guy records, and I'll let Ben take that question as well. For me, I like to be very thorough and be able to coordinate all the stuff without someone right next to me over my shoulder or yelling, "Oh, what part is this?" or "We should do this." And it's like it's a way to sit there, like almost meditative, and like come up with the things without someone else being in the room. So I like it a lot. It was very chaotic when I would write in rooms with other musicians for years, get a lot of fights. I wasn't as prolific that way because it was mostly, fighting with different, members all the time and arguing.
Yeah.
But this is great. But Ben, I think Ben likes to do that classic way a little bit better than me. But
I mean, I've done it both ways. But yeah, there might be some truth to that. But I wouldn't say it's like like a pro and con thing. It's just like there's difference. There's a separation like between like me sending something in like with my vocals and all this, and then like having it be reinterpreted, and
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
some yeah, and sometimes I have to let it sit with me sometimes because I'm like, okay, yeah, like we all kind of we trust each other enough to just take a thing, and we all know that we're good at what we do. So even if we question something right away, we usually give it time to sit. So I mean, I like it because it always turns out different than what I think it's going to be, because I sometimes I have no idea how it's going to turn out. But I think what we tried to do like consciously is we've tried to approach it in every different possible way. Like we talk about getting in the same room and writing, but almost like a kitsch thing now, because it's like that's like the only way we don't do it. We've written songs in like every other way, and we've kind of talked about it on the road. We're like, yeah, we should get together in a room. It's like because that just it doesn't happen anymore. So it's
Yeah.
like, we're talking about the antiquated form in a way that it's like, we should try that, see what happens.
yeah, but people also say we sound very different live than we do on record, and I think that's because it's a lot more aggressive live, because we're kind of from metal and punk and all that stuff, and I think that kind of comes out in the aggression that we play a lot of these songs live. So even though the songs are layered, we have to pick things that work, and for a three piece, especially distill the songs down to a much more basic format than what we would do in a studio with like 15 guitar tracks and all that stuff. So it actually does come out a little bit more, and the drums and all that stuff, it changes over time. Like there's the beats that are on the record, and I think Walt always takes more liberties the more we play the song. New fills come up, grooves change, everything changes slightly. And I think usually it works out good that way.
Yeah, one of the things I had all sorts of thoughts while you were talking. I think one of the things that I didn't really think about, but you kind of hit on, was the actual production part too versus the classic. Because to get music out there in the classic way, a lot of times you'll have a producer, you'll have somebody shaping your sound a little more, but you have more control, the way you're doing
Yeah,
it.
I
You
mean,
have
I
full
end up
control.
usually producing it. Yeah, I end up
So,
usually
I mean,
producing.
you
We
hear
both
about,
do. We all
you
do.
read about, we do a lot of bands, and Jim and I are getting ready to do the Church right now, a
Oh
couple
yeah,
of
he
their
told me
old
that.
albums. Yeah, we're
Which
going to do Heyday. We're going to do
yes,
Heyday and Gold Afternoon Fix.
yeah,
And
since
I mean,
listening to
even
you, I
them, it's
listen to
like
Heyday a bunch.
you read about what they wanted. I think the Replacements was another good example. what they wanted to put out and what they ended up putting out were not the same thing because of the meddling hands, that got in there that were good for them in some ways, but also changed what they, this really wasn't what they wanted to be. But you have full control this way,
Yeah. I mean, sometimes I wish that we could do a few songs with a producer, a notable producer that maybe I kind of respect the stuff that they've done in the past or whatever, just to see how they'd mold it a little bit, or how we would be in a situation with a little bit more pressure in that way. Because it's the most, the worst thing is getting used to a thing and like
yeah, yeah.
making boring stuff because you're used to it. I think that's why we change like sounds so
Hmm.
much, because
Yeah.
like, I love a lot of bands, but genre to me, you shouldn't be stuck in a genre. To me, it's like, unless you're really just shooting for like a fashion thing, or you're just obsessed with one band and you just want to do that thing. I just feel like a lot of different stuff comes up when you're being creative, and I don't like to shut it down necessarily, because it could lead to a new place musically that's exciting. If we did the same record over and over again, I think we'd all be really bored with it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. The other thing you talked about that I had a comment on was you talked about you guys are more aggressive live.
Mhm.
Um, I was listening to all these songs and I'm sitting here thinking, okay, how do they reproduce this live? How are they doing this live as a three-piece? Um, and I'm sure you guys do great. Um, I was thinking though, when you said that, I was thinking most of the bands I've seen that are similar, or they have a lot of things and elements to their music and stuff. When you see them live, they're that same way. They're like a little more stripped back, and they sound more aggressive live. I feel like the post-punk
Mhm.
music bands that I go to, albums versus live,
Yeah.
it always sounds more aggressive,
Yeah,
which I love, which is great. But I think that's kind of a thing. But
for sure.
yeah,
I mean, there's also the excitement and the adrenaline of
yeah,
playing live, so
yeah,
that it's always going to push you.
yeah, yeah. Um, What is it about that new wave post-punk sound that resonates with you guys? You kind of answered this a little bit. I don't know if you want to expound on that or not, but
I mean, it's just when I was a kid, it was the thing that I love. It's just like what I heard on the radio. I mean, from Duran Duran to The Cure and all that stuff. I mean, it was before I got into metal and all that stuff. Like that was what I really, I mean, that, and then later on in high school into the Smiths and all the stuff, and got a little bit deeper. The 120 minutes era,
yeah,
of
yeah,
MTV and uh alternative, as we called it. Yeah, no, I just love that sound. I think that like production got really interesting in the 80s. Everybody always talks a lot of crap on 80s production, and they
mm,
say it's usually goes down to the gated snares and things sounding too cold or perfect in a weird way. But I think that like, recording technique those bands used what the technology was of that time, and in a
yeah,
very creative way, like really they try to make interesting artistic pop records, right? And I think after that, and I got into the grunge thing in the 90s and all that, but like I think that after that, it went back to a 70s type aesthetic. Really dry drums, really, really clean, direct guitars, dry right into the tube amplifier. And the music's kind of stayed that way, I think, until the early 2000s, when indie rock was bringing back some new wave and weird
hmm,
stuff, avant-garde stuff. But I just like that sound. I like that aesthetic. If I put on like a great Bowie song, or it's like they're always reaching and doing something
yeah,
really interesting and creative. And I don't always feel that way with a lot of just straight rock or metal or pop. Some pop and hip hop is like that too, but like I don't know. That's where the appeal is for me. I feel like it was a pinnacle of some sort of like pop creativity.
yeah. Ben,
I mean, like I said, I missed out on a lot of that, so I'm still learning a lot. Like I just started listening to the church. I didn't know how big into the church Jim was when
yeah,
that
that's he and I's favorite band.
yeah, yeah. I listened to
There's
you
a
guys
lot
talk
there to
about
discover
that, and I
too.
was like, man. But I get it though. Like, I mean, for some reason, it seems a lot of it going back now. I mean, I did listen to some things like Psychedelic Furs, and I had a lot of that. But yeah, it just, I don't know. It seems so experimental. Like, it seemed like an exciting like time where think people were trying to figure out what the next thing was. You know, it was like they got as visceral as they could with like punk music at the time or something, and then it was just like, you know, I love that. I love having melody and having, you know, just, you know, weirdness all around it. You know, I mean, it seemed to be, I don't know. There are a lot of bands I discovered from that era that are way stranger than I realized they were. Like, I mean, like Japan or something like that he listens to. Like, you know, uh, but yeah. I mean, I like I said, I was more intrigued by by diving into that because it wasn't something I spent a lot of time in. Like, I was kind of in the '90s firmly. I was listening to a lot of pop rock stuff, and you know, I love Elvis Costello and all that. So uh, I don't know. It just seems like a cool, you know, a cool sound to inhabit at least.
Yeah, and I don't think we necessarily do any kind of like legitimate throwback to that. It's always like, I mean, you could tell
Yeah.
me how you hear it, but it's like bits of that, but also shoegaze. I love a lot of shoegaze. I love a lot of '90s stuff too. A lot of British
Mhm.
'90s stuff. I love a lot of British music, really, when it comes down to it. Like, I'm kind of an Anglophile with music, and like, and I still think the bands of England right now, the rock bands coming up, are amazing and a lot more interesting to me than American bands right now. American bands to me don't have that same, there's something about the English. I don't know what it is that I love as far as the way they make music. Um so yeah, so there's a bit of it, there's a bit of everything I think but I love a lot of the early 2000s indie rock stuff too, like big time into a lot of that. So I think that might shine through a bit in our music as well, you know?
Yeah, it absolutely does. Yeah, I call it the post-punk revival indie rock, you know, in that early
Yeah.
2000s. So I'm calling you guys post punk rock. I mean,
Okay.
I don't know.
Keep on posting it.
It's
Yeah.
coming around again. I don't know. But yeah, you mentioned your style, and I think I had a comment down here, but um I feel like you guys do like exactly what you said. You pull all these different little pieces. So you can't it's hard, and you'll probably like that. It's hard to define a genre for you guys, I think. I mean,
Yeah.
I would call it post-punk. Well, it depends. Depends on what I'm listening to, which release and what song, but I would call it that. But um, I think it's hard to really put a label on it because it just pulls so many different things together. So it almost like it creates this new category that's undefined. That's how
Yeah,
I
I
hear
like
it.
that. Yeah. I think that
So,
confuses a lot of people oftentimes because like, you know, if you're way into a specific sound, people will be like, well, they don't really fit into that. They do a little bit. So we're kind of embraced a little bit by, you know, we'll do goth nights when we travel and people will
mhm.
like that a bit. And then we'll do just regular, we'll play with metal bands, we'll play with rock band, like whatever we do, I feel like people always kind of hear what they want to hear in it. And what always kind
Yeah,
of comes together is like, oh yeah, it's the stuff I used to listen to when I was like younger and listening to like early alternative rock. It resonates with people. We were playing New Orleans and this guy said we sound like Sunny Day Real Estate. I'm like, okay, I mean I don't hear that in us at all. I mean men
ah,
them, but I don't think that that's really um uh, in our I mean maybe it is. Hey, who's to say? I
there's
don't
so
know.
many little bits and pieces. You know, like I'll
Yeah.
hear something, I'll be like,
Confused.
okay, they sound like Simple Minds. Okay, they sound like Flock of Seagulls when they're dragging that, you know,
Flock of
Burning
Simple
Hell has that
Minds.
one guitar thing
Yeah,
towards
yeah.
the end. Or they sound like the National here. Or oh wait, okay, just this little part though, that the rest of it sounds completely different. They sound like the
Yeah.
Editors. You know, it's all
Yep.
over the place. It's all, and that's awesome, right? You know, that's
Yeah,
what
I
you
like it.
want, I think. Yeah. Um, so we might talk about that a little bit more when we get down to the music, but I wanted to know what, and you kind of mentioned this, so maybe you kind of answered this. Your earliest influences in the alternative music scene, you talked about The Cure, and I mean all the regulars, right? The Cure, The Smith, um,
Yeah, the earliest for me was Duran Duran
Duran
as like a
Duran.
kid. and Seven and the Ragged Tiger was the first record I had gotten.
That was a great record.
Yeah,
I
I
had a
love that.
cassette and I played the
So-
hell out of that cassette.
I love that record. Yeah.
Warped it. I warped it.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah.
listened to that record a lot. But yeah, they were the first band that I was like, yeah, these guys are great. But I was also listening to like metal at the same time, or hard
Yeah.
rock, whatever you would
I
call
think
it.
that was kind of a thing for us kids. You're an 80s kid, or
Yeah,
I was
uh-huh.
born in 69, so in the 80s I was a, junior high teenager, and I
Yeah,
think that was a thing then. I
yeah.
think you listen to some top 40, you listen to metal, you listen to alternative that as it
Like
was
kids do
beginning.
today. Kids do today. Kids
Yeah.
are like all into all different genres, I think, just the
Yeah.
same as we were.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. But yeah, I mean, they were big in The Cure. I've always loved The Cure. Joy Division was like the first, you know, before New Order was Joy
Mm-hmm.
Division.
Mm-hmm.
But then, like, I love New Order. My
Oh, New
uncle,
Order was fabulous. Yeah.
yeah, my uncle lives in Los Angeles, and he moved there in the '80s, and he was into really cool stuff. So he got me into, oh my God, there's so much stuff. Dead Can Dance. He got
Mm-hmm.
me into um Cocteau Twins. He bought me a Cocteau Twins 4 calendar cafe when I was a kid. He
Oh,
bought
wow.
me, he had like yeah, he was always like soul
Mm-hmm.
mining. He got me
So,
that
yeah.
when I was a kid. So like all that stuff was like, a big deal for me. That like,
Yeah.
he had David Bowie's Let's Dance. He had Rebel Yell, which I love. I love that record, and I'll play
That's a great man. Those Billy Idol records are great.
oh, I love Billy Idol, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, and then New Order, he had Low Life. I remember like listening to that. And then he was a big Smiths fan. So like Meet His Murder, I remember him playing that record when I visited him in Los Angeles. And he's like, and I didn't really get it. He's like, you have to listen to this whole thing if I put this record on. I'm like, all right, that's fine. And like I did, and I was like, okay, you could turn it off. Like I didn't really understand that as a kid, but now I've become, obviously more into the Smiths over time. And yeah, so that was for me, those, I don't know, Ben, he said Psychedelic Furs and like
Yeah, and Elvis Costello,
Elvis.
I went through a really, that's a big hole to go
Have
into.
you
So
seen the Furs in concert?
yeah, we just did with
Oh my
Squeeze.
God.
With Squeeze.
It so great.
Right before
One of my
the
favorite
horn player
concerts in
died.
recent years.
What'd you say?
I said one of my favorite concerts in
Oh
recent
yeah, we
years.
saw them in Squeeze, and
Richard
it was
Butler is just,
like a week
man.
before the horn player died, before their sax player died.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, they're great live. Great, yeah. I
Yeah.
love those songs.
Yeah, them
Yeah.
and Squeeze. Squeeze was
Squeeze. Yeah.
too. Yeah.
Squeeze was crazy live.
Kind of I don't want to say underrated, because Squeeze, had the one big hit, Tempted, but I don't think a lot of people explored their catalog.
Well, now they have a great catalog.
I mean, Up to
Yeah.
Junction is one of my favorite
Yeah.
songs ever. Like that's a great song.
Yeah.
Yeah, just great. Yeah, good
Stuff.
stuff. British, like I
Stuff.
said, all these Brits.
Yeah,
They're
I still love the Brits. And like you said, I don't know why. I just do. I gravitate towards that.
I listen to BBC Six every week, and I discover new bands on the app. I listen to BBC Six, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh, there's like 5 new bands I've heard about it. I'll follow them on Spotify, and then I'll listen, and it's like, yeah, the British people. It's weird because in America, rock and roll is in essence dead. Like it's pretty much dead in America right now. There's an underground rock scene that comes up, but like mainstream wise, gone. There's no rock, right? Maybe it's
Yeah.
creeping back in, which is cool. But in England, you can't tell them that they're trying to still develop these like rock and roll bands and
Yeah.
to the United States or whatever, and like there's no market for them here. But they're great. I mean, like Idols, I guess they broke
Yeah.
here, like they're breaking here, and
Yeah.
Fontaines DC are breaking here, and like, but just bands are coming out like that. It just blows my mind,
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll see if you can remember. This is a question for your youth. Do you remember the first album you bought?
Bought
You bought with
because
your own
I was
money.
gifted. I was gifted records
With
that
your
I
own
asked
money.
for Christmas.
What did you go out and get?
So the first record. I mean, I might by the time I was buying records, I was probably into Motley Crue. But I mean, like the first records I had gotten on my birthday was all at once was Seven and the Ragged Tiger, Metal Health by Quiet Riot,
Yeah, I had that.
Pyromania by Def Leppard.
Mm-hmm.
That those 3 records. First tape I ever bought was AC/DC's Back in Black.
Yeah.
And the first CD I ever
Same.
bought was Enya's Shepherd Moons.
What Enya?
CD.
Nice.
CD I ever bought. That and the Kronos
Interesting.
Quartet's Pieces of Africa. That was the first CD I bought. I got into really weird, like Steve Reich and John Cage, and way into like, 20th century weird Philip Glass.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, so that's me.
What about you, Ben?
I don't know what is the first tape I bought. I mean, I had a lot of hip hop tapes when I was a
You
kid.
ever have a
but
record?
Not sure I bought them.
Probably never bought a
I
record
didn't have records till later. But
till later, yeah.
maybe I don't know. Like when I started buying tapes, I remember buying like Stone Temple Pilots Core. Definitely
Yeah.
I would buy cassette singles. I definitely had the Radiohead.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
Those
any
cassette
Buzz clip
singles.
that came out on MTV. I think I bought the single.
You were that guy. I used to work at Sam Goody, and I used to hate the guys that came in and bought singles. I mean, what do you buy singles for? They're
Why
so
are you-
stupid.
Well, they
Buy
had
the
songs on
I
it.
bought a few singles in
Oh,
my
you just
time,
buy the
but
tape.
I laugh now. I had a Stone Temple Pilots release, I think. I wasn't like super big into the grunge 90s sound just because they usurped my alternative music and metal. I mean, they pretty much kicked out both of those and it was all, but Stone Temple Pilots I really dug. I thought they were great.
I mean, I loved Skinny Puppy a lot right in
Oh
college.
yes. Oh yeah.
I was a big
I
industrial
forgot
guy. I
about
saw
Skinny
Skinny
Puppy.
Puppy back then, and
Yeah.
also Ministry I've seen a few times. And
Ministry, yeah.
yeah, so like I got Meat Beat Manifesto, and like so I went through a huge industrial thing. 9 Inch Nails, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's all
Good.
over the map. It's crazy going through the years of. I used to have since I worked at a record store. I used to have over 1,000 CDs, and I ended up selling them all for dirt. When I moved to Nashville, me and my wife is a big music fan too. So between us, we had these enormous, CD collections that we just gave away.
I've got
And now we
tons
sell
like
those
packed away in
vinyl.
boxes.
What's that?
I've got tons of them packed away in boxes.
Yeah, that's what I did for years. And
haven't
I'm like, well, I'm
parted
not
yet.
going to listen to them.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. I've thought about getting rid of the ones, all but the ones that you can't, it's hard to find because I've got some that it's difficult to find or they're out of print or whatever.
For sure.
But yeah, they're just sitting in boxes. I did that with my cassettes too, back in the early 90s. I heard all my cassettes. So
I love collecting those. So like when I get rid of the cassettes, it was CDs. When I got rid of the CDs, now I have vinyl. So I collect vinyl.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Having something tangible. Right.
Totally. Yeah.
I just ordered I Love You Burn in Hell.
I just mailed it to you
and
today.
it shipped. It just shipped. I was like, that was quick.
First thing I did today.
And I started kicking myself after because I was like, wait a minute, do they still do the Bandcamp Friday thing?
Every Friday.
Do they still do it every Friday? And more goes to
no, it's not every Friday. It's like once a month. It's
I was gonna say, I didn't think
it's
it was every Friday,
but no, March 1st. I think it's gonna be whatever. You can just email me now when you want a record, and I'll just ship it.
There you go.
So, you don't have to go through.
I'm really good. I'm gonna try. I think it's Lost Frequency, right? That was a couple albums back. I really like that one. So and that one's got vinyl available. I saw. So.
It is, yeah.
Yeah,
I'll send it to you. Just email me and I'll send it to you, and you don't have to go through the whole Bandcamp thing.
Yeah, I'll definitely do that. And you can get all the proceeds.
Awesome.
But yeah, so I think I mentioned this, but on one of the other podcasts, I heard that you guys, and you kind of talked about this too. You hear from a lot of different people that you remind them of a lot of different bands. So and that's true of me too. You remind me of a whole bunch of different bands. And I kept hearing the Editors a lot. I don't know who the Editors are. Maybe that's some of the vocals. I don't know, but that's a compliment. I love the Editors.
Yeah, they're great.
And then I've got all these other ones that keep popping up, and I stopped listing them in my head, like Human League, Ultravox, Block Party, Interpol, Block Party. You know who Block
Oh, I
Party
love
is?
Block Party. Yeah, they're great. I
Yeah.
love a bunch of records.
Interpol, Joy Division.
We
Yeah,
hear Interpol a lot.
it
Yeah,
just keeps going. Yeah, Interpol. Yeah, some of the
it's
there.
awesome.
But if you could pick, this is probably too hard or not fair. If you could pick one band that it's influenced you the most, what would that band be?
For me, Peter Gabriel.
Okay.
I adore Peter Gabriel.
I
Everything
feel
is
like that's one of the, I think Peter Gabriel came to mind too, through some of this stuff, just little pieces of things.
as well.
But
That's a great compliment. I mean, Peter Gabriel to me is like an absolute genius. Like Peter Gabriel and The Cure. The Cure is up there too because The Cure has done so many different genres of music since they started. Three-piece punk band, goth, dark stuff, right to pop, right
yeah,
to like disintegration where it got dark again and psychedelic. But like that's a classic one, The Cure, obviously. The Cure. But like Peter Gabriel to me, like I can never. It just gives me chills every time I listen to his records and his voice. And in his new records, amazing. And he always does things in an interesting way, and he's always thinking in an interesting way. I just like the way he thinks. And like every new song that came out, we'd all listen to it like, oh, this is another one. What do you think of this one? Oh, this one's not as good as the last one, but it was always like Christmas when a new Peter Gabriel song
yeah,
would come out because
right.
he's just so great. I don't know. He's not spoken about enough either. I just feel like nobody
Yeah, I'm
really
ashamed to say I haven't dug into Peter Gabriel enough, but he's
dig
definitely on
in.
my list. And when I go to
Yeah.
record stores, I'm like, okay, I talk to people about him, but I need to dig in some more.
Yeah.
What do you think, Ben? You
Uh,
got a band?
well, I'd say Elvis Costello. Like, I really did spend a lot of time. He kind of like when I
You
got
could say
back
that.
when I got back into playing music, like, it's just something about his attitude. Like, he's kind of like bitter and empowered, or he just the
Yeah.
swagger of him, and plus like the vocal gymnastics of it all. But I mean,
Yeah.
and I've listened to him consistently
Yeah.
throughout the years. But I mean, like another band I've done that with is Pernice Brothers or Joe Pernice. I listened to
Hmm.
him a lot. I always go back to his records. But yeah, I think Elvis was kind of a sea change for me. Uh, like, yeah.
That's a great answer.
I mean, I
Yeah,
Lemonhead I loved growing up. Yeah,
the Lemonheads.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, yeah, like just pop rock bands like that I really
Redondo.
loved growing
Yeah,
up. But
that's cool stuff.
yeah,
Yeah,
He
those
could
mile a minute lyrics or vocals for Elvis
oh yeah.
Costello, man.
he,
Sometimes, yeah.
Impressive.
he could sing every word to Crash Test Dummies God Shuffled His Feet record.
Can't.
Yeah, but my throat hurts
But
afterwards.
your throat, you gotta go down.
Very low.
Yeah, gotta go down a ways, right?
Yeah.
So the music, your music's described in various ways, right? In the press and on your sites and things. On your website, it says cinematic dream pop and new wave with brooding post-punk. And then Bandcamp, Palm Ghost is the sound of an 80s prom in a war zone.
Yeah.
I came up with that.
That's right.
Did you?
Yeah.
Ben came up with that one?
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, um I think this is where I had the comment. I kind of already mentioned this. I feel like you guys are kind of undefinable, really. So that's a pretty good description, Ben, because it's like, okay, it's I don't know.
Yeah, you're just trying.
It's a
Yeah.
description. It's a description that no one can be like, okay, so that's what it is.
Yeah,
They're
exactly.
like, what the fuck does that mean? That's what
I've been to 80s prom and
gotta go
awards.
listen to this.
It's nothing like this.
Have you?
That's never happened.
Very, very post-apocalyptic, right?
Yeah.
Uh,
Absolutely.
So this one, I think you guys, I don't know if you touched on this in the other podcast or not, but we're going to touch on it here. Like what's your perspective on the balance of art for art's sake versus wanting to influence or wanting to inspire other people, or the validation that comes from having your work recognized? I feel like Ben's posts on Threads touch
That's
on
me.
some of this stuff sometimes. So
That's
That's
me.
him.
oh,
Yeah.
is it you? I'm sorry. I
It's all
apologize.
right.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I like to say art for art's sake, but I know that that's not true. I mean, every time we do stuff like record, so I try to do something that would resonate with people. I mean, I'd be a fool to not say that I'd love to be able to make a living off of making music enough for us to pay our mortgages and rent and be able to just, I mean, not a lot of money, but just like enough to be able to do this and not worry about money,
Yeah.
not worry about having to juggle jobs and things in order to do it. So yeah, that with that comes, making something that people will like and to have the opportunity to play for larger audiences, right? But I mean, if someone said, I'll give you a quick way to do that, but you have to write a song that sounds like Post Malone or something, and change your sound to whatever. I mean, no one would ever do that, but I'm saying I wouldn't do it. I don't think we do it. I think we're hard-headed enough that we just do what we do, and it's either going to find us some sort of success or it's just not. And this is just going to be our legacy that of what we've spent our time doing, which is totally fine. Like I don't sit there going like I do it because I love it. And I think we all do the same thing. We wouldn't be doing it at this age if we were trying for something greater. We like it, but we are happy. I'm happy to do this as long as I can do it and just be as creative and have the ideas not stop flowing. Um, I mean, me and Ben are really lucky that we met and that we are able to collaborate so regularly without like ego or it just we're very easygoing with how we do it and we're looking for the same thing. I think what we always say is like we want the music that we do to take us by surprise when we hear it. So that if we play something like we want it to be like, oh, that's great. That little hook comes out of nowhere, or just the way it's arranged or the way the song is interesting or strange enough that will keep your attention. And it doesn't sound boring and it doesn't sound formulaic. That's how I feel about it. I don't know, Ben, if you I mean
Well,
it,
no, I mean, it would be, in my mind, it's kind of art for art's sake, even if we do succeed, because I feel like that only helps me make more art. Like, I think we kind of do it to, like, we've been doing it long enough. It's kind of, it's a compulsion that's turned into a talent. So it's like I mean, I'm always going to do it. Like, I spend all my time now when I have two jobs, and right now I only have one job because one of my jobs is a seasonal job. So right now I have all my days. So I literally just sit inside and just record like that whole day until I go to work that night.
and I do the same here.
Yeah. So I mean, like we
Cool.
we spend a lot of time doing this, and it is kind of effortless and enjoyable for us in the form that it is now. But I mean, if we were to make a living off of it, that wouldn't ruin it for me. I'd just have more time to make more music. So I'd be happy with that.
And we love playing. We love touring and playing for people. And it sucks to play for nobody when it happens. It doesn't happen. It happens less for us now, thank God. Like we've been doing it long enough where
Mhm.
people do come out a bit, or like we'll have like enough for us to be happy with an audience. Some better than others, but like but just to be able to go and do that and not lose every time you go out and but we do it very scaled down with three of us. It's an SUV and a trailer, and we're very like particular about how we do it and like but yeah, we're like weekend warriors but like consistently throughout the year in essence.
Yeah, cool, cool. Um, you opened for Modern English
Yeah, that
last
was cool.
September.
Mm-hmm.
I saw them in 2022
Mm-hmm.
doing the After the Snow album at a little place here in Kansas City, a small place. I was right up front. It was awesome. Um, one of the best concerts I've seen in a while.
Oh,
How was that
great.
experience for you guys?
Oh, it was wonderful. I mean, we was live on the radio too for us, for both
Oh,
of us.
oh,
So a
nice.
major radio station here had them on a Sunday night show, and I don't think we were quite aware that we were going to be live on the radio until like right before, and we're like, oh, they're going to announce us, and we're going to play our entire set live on the radio. So I'm glad we didn't think about it too much to make us too
Yeah.
nervous about it. But yeah, I mean, they were great. They were really great, very friendly to us, very complimentary. They were saying stuff like we reminded them of Teardrop Explodes, who I'm a huge fan of, like
Hmm.
Teardrop
Oh,
and like
wow.
stuff like that, and and we made plans to eventually play some more shows together, hopefully down the line. So this year they're busy on like a bunch of different stuff, but maybe down
Yeah.
the line we'll play more with them. But it was a really great experience. It was cool to play with your heroes, and and that they are super nice and sounded just unbelievable, like just unbelievable live. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
it was a great night
absolutely.
overall.
How did that come about? How did you guys end up, opening for them?
I saw that they were playing Third and Lindsley, and I reached out to Third and Lindsley and I said, "Hey, do you need an opener for this?" And someone got back and said, "Well, I'll ask the band if they like you, maybe they'll put you on." And I did, and they did. And
Nice.
it worked out. And we had to have our own drum kit and stuff because it was live, and they had to mic everything for the live radio performance. That they were there all day getting sounds together. So we kind of rolled in, and they quickly mic'd our stuff up. We tried to stay out of their way. We tried to get the stuff off the stage. We only had like 10 minutes to do it before they went live. So there was a lot of stress to it, but I think like there was no arguments. Everything was so smooth. And yeah, lucky we did that. That was great. It gave us an opportunity. And we've got some people that come to see us now here
Yeah, you gained
from
some
that,
people.
because
Yeah.
it put us in front of our pretty much our audience, you know.
Yeah. How about you, Ben?
It was fun. They were really nice. Like the some of the guys we actually got to hang out and talk for a little while, and they were just really really sweet guys, and they were really really rad live. And
I
they
was
were really
surprised how great
yeah.
it was live, to be honest.
Mhm.
But
No, it
I thought Robbie Gray was awesome.
Incredible. Yeah, his
Yeah,
voice has
really
sense
nice
of humor.
guy, and yeah, and the energy level. I mean,
oh yeah,
these
no,
guys aren't
it was
young.
yeah.
I'm going out and seeing all the bands I can. Like I bought tickets for the Chameleons for a third time.
Oh yeah, you missed the one show, right?
I
I
missed the
remember.
one show last. Their tour bus broke down in Denver, so they had to skip the Kansas City show. The year
Oh,
before, they canceled their entire tour, U.S. tour. But this place brought them back, and that actually leads kind of into my next question. Are you guys looking to or open to coming, coming to the Midwest a little more, like to Kansas City, to Iowa, anywhere? Um,
we play the
Kansas?
Midwest a bunch. We play like
Okay.
Milwaukee, Illinois. I've tried to get a gig in Kansas City for a long time, and I just can't get any clubs to get back to me there or bands. So I just figured, oh well, it's just there's no scene for what we do there or whatever. But like,
I'm
try
gonna
to. I've been to Folk Alliance there before.
I'm gonna put in I'm gonna like, lobby for you guys. Like
Okay.
there's a place called the Record Bar. That's where Modern English came. The Chameleons are coming there, the Swans. There's a bunch.
Nice.
One of the co-owners is a guy who is very much into the post-punk alt
Oh,
scene.
cool.
He was in a band, I think, in the early 90s called Season to Risk that was out of
Oh,
Kansas, but I don't, but
I've heard that name actually.
yeah, you probably have heard the name because they had, a couple songs on the radio,
Okay.
nationwide. But he's the guy that's pushed. There's two owners, and he's the one that's kind of pushing um, for that kind of a little more like your genre of music, your undefinable genre.
Yeah.
But I'm also kind of a friend of mine, and we're trying to push for the Ocean Blue to come to. They've been to Kansas City a bunch.
We played
They're
with
looking
them
at the. They're have you? Okay, they're looking at
in
the record
Nashville.
bar.
Yep. Yep.
They're looking at the record bar. Um, um, one of my friends made it to one of their concerts recently and talked to them, and they're looking at the record bar, looking at a couple places in Kansas City. So I was just going to start plastering social media with, "Hey, you guys should come here," and hit tagging the Palm Ghost in there and putting, "Hey, you should have these guys open for you," and
Yeah.
see if we can
Please.
get you guys here. In the meantime, I'm gonna try to get to a show this year. I got a lot of shows and lots going on, but in Nashville, well, Memphis, I think might be the closest place to Kansas City. Chicago is 8 hours. Memphis is 7. Nashville's 8. But you're doing multiple Nashville shows because you guys are from there, I assume. Like you're doing some up
Yeah.
front,
I mean,
you're doing
if you
some
have a
tour
Kansas
later.
City connection, we'll come and play Kansas City. I mean, like I said, I want to play St. Louis, Kansas City. I want to hit these places, but I just never found the right spot or the right
Yeah.
band to pair with. So if you know of a
I'll work
local,
on it.
just
I'll
let me
work on
know.
it for
We'll book
sure.
a show there. We want to play those markets. So,
Cool.
and we tour a lot. So like if you can figure it out sometime in the summertime, we'll just make that part of one of our weekends. We'll do Kansas City, hopefully, whatever driving distance from there. And I've done Lawrence before,
Yeah, Lawrence. Yeah.
also in the
Yeah,
past.
that's really close, and that a lot of bands come to Lawrence too. So you might be able to hit both Kansas and Missouri that
Wichita, I played
way.
Wichita.
Wichita, yeah, yeah, Wichita's great. It's a great
Yeah,
city to go
yeah. We
play
played
at. Yeah.
Kirby's Beer Bar. That wasn't this band, but
Did
another
you?
band.
Nice, nice. Let's see. I was going to move it into your catalog if that's okay.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, a little bit. I spent some time on the back catalog, but there's so much there, right? To
Yeah.
absorb. Um, so, and I think you already mentioned this pretty much. You guys, I said before you said all that, like as I was listening through before our conversation, I was like, okay, in 2018, there seemed to be a little bit of a shift with architecture, and I think that it's kind of supported by what you said earlier, I think. There was a song called Love in Winter, and I think that's your most played song on Spotify. And I kind of wondered what led to that. I mean, it's a great song. You got the female vocals on. I don't know who that is. I think it's in
Erica
the
Wilkes.
credits.
She's on that
Yes,
whole record.
Erica
Yeah.
Wilkes was in the credits. Yeah, I wasn't sure.
Mhm.
But that is there a reason why that hit like so big, like got so
Playlist.
popular?
It's on
Okay, a
playlists.
playlist. I wondered if maybe it was, submitted or on a playlist of somebody's.
Yeah,
Yeah.
some playlists picked it up and I think it's I think it's in Mexico City because that's like a really the
Oh
highest
yeah.
Spotify that so I think it's that. And then it's led to other people hearing that song. It's not kind of what we do in a weird way,
No.
like it's anymore.
It's
Or
kind of in
even
between a
then.
little bit,
What's that?
slightly. It sound to me it sounds a little bit in between, kind of the indie but it's
Yeah.
maybe more towards the indie kind of.
People seem to like that song a lot. It's
I
kind
like
of
it. I like it.
yeah,
It's a
yeah. It
great
might be
song.
our first collaboration, you and I, like
Yeah.
direct
Yeah,
collaboration.
that was. I think it was the first one I did on the 8-track first, and that you actually recorded.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think like I forget how we do it at this point with that one, but like so it changed in 2018 because like I said, I wanted to kind of embrace the stuff I grew up with. And I was like, I want to do more of this 80s like new wave thing. I wasn't even saying
Mhm.
post-punk, new wave thing, or a little bit of goth in there. And I was thinking about calling it something completely different and putting Palm Ghosts to bed. But then Ben was like, yeah, no, why not? It's like you've been writing as this Palm Ghost for a while now. Why don't you make it another version of that? I was like, okay, it might be kind of people might think that that's a little strange, like if they've listened to the back catalog or if they were listening to it and all of a sudden there's a huge change.
Probably throws people sometimes.
What's
Yeah.
that?
It probably throws people sometimes, but
It threw them probably the people that were listening at the time, which was not very many people. And I think instantly when we started changing our sound is when we really started building an audience and getting press and all that stuff. So people don't even really know that older stuff. They start with architecture in a sense. And I've actually
Mhm.
thought about before kind of taking those old records down, but I'm like, no, I'm proud of those records.
No.
They're
Yeah.
what they are. So it's just part of the I mean, listen to the first national record. It's so very different from what they did later on. So
Oh yeah.
everyone's got that first record that's completely Velvet Underground's first record
Those
versus
early pop records
early pulp records are completely different. Yeah, early Cure. So,
Yeah.
I figured like whatever. Let's stick with it, and that's what we did.
So, do you have like one or maybe a couple of songs in particular that when you play a show that people are gonna get up and move, gonna get people up, get them going?
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird. It's not a song that streams a lot, but Revelation Engines always gets people
Which one
into
is that? Which release is
it's
that
on
off of?
Lifeboat Candidate.
Oh yeah. So
Lifeboat Candidate was weird.
that was after Lost Frequency, or was it before
Yeah, so
Lost
it was
Frequency? I think it was
recorded.
after. Yeah.
So Lost Frequency, it was before Lost Frequency, but
Okay,
it
right
was
before. Okay.
recorded
Yeah.
after Lost Frequency. Lost Frequency came out, or we had it done, and then the pandemic hit. And
Yeah.
then Walt rejoined from Philly.
Mhm.
We started collaborating, and it became so different sounding. And we were so excited by like that's more of our like angular, like almost like Gang of Four, just really
Mhm.
kind of grittier record. And it was like with Walt on drums and the way we were collaborating was different. That I was like, oh, let's put this out now, and we did. And then Lost Frequency we put out right afterward, which is a
Oh,
lighter
gotcha.
record than that. But yeah, that came out during the pandemic, and that song gets people live, I think, pretty because Blind is another one off that one. A lot
Oh,
of stuff we do
Blind.
from that
Yeah.
record
Blind is great.
actually gets people live.
And, Waiting Live, right?
Which one was it? What?
What's the one off the EP? What is it
Red
called?
Horizon. No, no.
Red Horizon does too, actually, live.
Red Horizon's fun live.
And that's probably one of the only ones from Architecture
we play.
that we still play. But
Red Horizon.
Yeah.
It's very Joy Division live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised you're not listing any of the songs from the new album, because
well, we play a lot of the new album live now, but we haven't. We only did. We haven't played that. I mean, we have been, but like we haven't really gone out for a year and played those songs yet, right?
Since Summerfest, we've been playing those songs.
Have we played them? We start playing them Summerfest?
Yeah, some of them.
Last year, a whole year ago, we started playing those songs.
Or we learned a lot of songs.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, but I don't think we played a lot of those. But yeah, so a lot of the new ones, Drag, we play live. People seem to really like that one.
Automatic, we play live.
Automatic for the modern age.
Yes, yeah.
Seem to like that one a lot.
I Love You Burning Hell, we do live.
We have, but we haven't recently. That's a tough one live. Yeah, I mean, we play more songs from the new record live than because we have so much of a catalog, like you said. So we would pick like a tune or two from each record. Bloodlight was always a fun one. I feel like people dig that. It's a good way to start. But now we start with She Came Playfully live, and I feel like
that's one of the ones that jumped out at me that I thought would be
that starts
great
our sets off now.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool.
Cool.
Yeah, so depends on the crowd too. Like we might play something and She Lies Awake. We play that one live. That seems to people really like that song. But that's another one on streaming. You wouldn't even think that people are listening to it, but live it translates. So who knows? Like streaming is it's confusing because you're like, oh, this is our most popular song. But if you people see us live, they don't even it's a totally different set of songs that they prefer.
Love in Winter is just the oldest kind of semi hit song we had on there, so that's just always up top.
Yeah. How do you guys put your set list together? Just based on what you've want to play, based on what you've played in other shows that you felt worked well, or kind of combination of everything?
I mean, once we learn
what you can play live and it can translate
sometimes it's that we're gonna learn more. We try to learn more songs as we go along because, like I said, we don't write these songs together. Like we kind of have to be like, we're gonna work on this song and then get together and then feel it out. And sometimes we've done that and it's like we can't quite get this right. Like we've struggled with some, but it's kind of rare. But yeah, I mean, mostly it's like we've built up enough songs now to where we can kind of go back and be like, well, we have 4 or 5 songs from this record, and we just kind of pick, the best of from what we think, at that time. And we switch it up every now and again. Like we have enough to where I'd be like, well, let's do this, not this, and we end up getting into that.
Yeah, like for Summerfest, we had to play like 75 minutes.
Yeah, 75 minutes.
And we were like, we don't usually do 75-minute sets because we're not like, we're usually playing on bills with other bands, and we're not like people paying a lot of money to see us as headliners or anything. So
yeah, we did learn She Came Playfully, and
for that.
Yeah, we learned a few new ones for that because we
played everything we knew for that.
Yeah. Minus covers because we didn't, we don't really do covers live that much anyway. But
yeah, we do some covers. Like we do Chameleons Up the Down Escalator sometimes.
I saw Gray Cell Green on the
Gray Cell Green. We've never done that live.
Streaming. Yeah.
I love Ned's Atomic Dustbin.
Yeah. Don't Change.
Yeah,
We've
Don't
done
Change.
That live.
Oh, In Excess. Yeah, cool.
Red Skies from the Fix.
Yeah.
Live that might be.
No, stand or fall.
Oh, stand
Stand or fall.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. As soon as he said it, we both start saying, yeah.
That's a
Great
great.
song.
You know it's
Great
good.
Hey, the
song.
Fix are great. That's a great
The
band.
Fix is great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
But yeah, so I guess when we just keep adding stuff, and now we have a pretty like a on we have like a list of songs that we do live, and we don't keep them all in rotation, but when we start practicing again to do regular touring, which is coming up like soon, we'll go through those and we'll kind of on the fly change our sets depending on
Wide Awake and
what shows.
Waiting too. That's what I was thinking.
Wide Awake and Waiting.
Yeah.
That's a pretty popular
Oh.
one.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
So
Popular on streaming and live, I guess,
your latest release, I Love You Burn in Hell, came out last year, right?
Yeah.
I put a note, and I don't know if I agree with my own note now. I put it when I first started making notes. It's like diving into a deep, dark pool of disillusionment and angst, exploitation, helplessness. I have all these little words,
Wow.
but still
Yeah.
some threads of hope.
Good.
I don't think that's exactly right because it's almost a lot of the songs have sort of an upbeat feel to them, but if you dig into the lyrics,
Dark.
you get a different picture. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I think is pretty cool. But I feel like, and I don't have to, we don't have to go through every song, but I have, notes, of course. But Tilt, I feel like Tilt's kind of opens up with Tilt, right? That's the first track, and it's kind
That's
of
a popular live one.
that's okay. That makes sense. That might be the most, I feel like, positive, message song lyrically on the album to me.
Yeah.
I know a lot of it's the ear of the beholder, right? And that's the way you want it to be, right? You want people to get their different interpretations from things, but then I think after that, we start going downhill. I don't know if it's downhill though. It's like it's weird because it's these kind of dark it's like communicating these dark negative realities, but there's also like some, hey, this is happening and you're not in it alone type of feel to them. I don't know if
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
makes any sense or not.
No, sometimes I feel like I add like this other narrator voice that comes in and like just like, calm down, buddy, calm down. Like you'll get through it.
That's
Yeah, but
funny.
no, yeah. I mean, a
Yeah.
lot of it's like me embodying. It's like sometimes it's like characters like I'm embodying, like that are like
Yeah.
which I don't really like, but I'm just kind of
Yeah.
speaking through them to like hear how ridiculous it sounds sometimes. But yeah, I mean, the one guy that we do podcasts with, Pete from the Book of Very Very Bad Things.
That's the one I listened to. Yeah. Yeah.
He was like, boy, this is like your darkest record yet. It's like musically, like I never thought of it that way, but like yeah,
No.
like lyrically, you're kind of right. I mean, there's not as many hopeful choruses happening like
I feel like Lifeboat Candidates.
Well, I mean,
well, Lifeboat kind of has some positive stuff though. I don't know.
even when she came playfully, even like that sounds like a super upbeat song.
Yeah, but it's a downer.
When she came playfully beside me, I went a long way to find somebody new to leave behind. That's awesome. Those are awesome lyrics, but it's like this does not sound at all like the musical feel of the song.
Yeah.
But those are my favorite songs usually, like when it's like that. So
yeah, I mean, it's
well
you
done.
gotta be romantic even when it doesn't work out.
Yeah. And I mean, so are you the primary lyric writer?
Lyricist, yeah.
I am now,
Oh my
basically.
God.
Like, I mean,
You're a poet, man.
Joe will still write stuff, but like I just yeah.
No, you're a poet.
Let it flow with that.
Like stream of consciousness type.
Sometimes, yeah. Like I don't know. It's yeah. Like I'm not same way we write. Like since we trust each other, that doesn't gum up the process that much. Like I kind of, no matter what comes out of me, like I'm not overly precious with it. Like, and I don't necessarily feel like I have to be. Like because I like to move on. I like to get on to the next song. Sometimes. So it's like I'll more of an idea guy where I'll get it out. I'll throw all the lyrics out there. If something's not sticking here or there, somebody else will let me know. But I mean, I try to button it up real quick and then move on. It's just kind of
Do
how it works.
you have specific thoughts or messages or ideas you're trying to get across, or is it
Uh,
ever sometimes?
um, maybe sometimes, yeah. Like, I mean, you know, like with drag, for instance. Like,
I was getting
I
ready to
knew when
talk
I was
about
like,
drag. Go ahead.
yeah, when I knew when I started writing drag, like that was one I got the music for, and then I wrote lyrics to it. Uh, and yeah, I don't know, like I've written a lot of songs about like, you know, trying to help people, you know, or in some way instructing people not to get too carried away with what's going on all the time. Like, because I feel like I've
Yeah,
witnessed a lot of, you know, just with the political unrest of everyone, you know, since the
yeah,
pandemic on, like I've seen so many people just hating on each other about, you know, or just hating people they don't even know, you know, like just people
yeah,
getting carried away with everything. Like, and I a lot of times when my positive messages are just like it's the same kind of thing. It's just like, you know, calm down, step back, don't get swept up in things. You know, just kind of take a good look at it before you start, you know, throwing around these words or these actions or just anything. Just trying to slow the moment down because everything seemed like it was just moving too fast around you. But yeah, I mean, I think I kind of when I got the chorus for that, I kind of knew that's what I was going to write it about. But still, like you know, if there's a thing in the verse that you know it just kind of loosely connects to things, I'm not going to push it too hard, you know, like I'm not trying to be so direct. And we've said this in other things. Like, I mean, I love songs, I love pieces of stories that I get to fit the things together myself. You know, it's like stepping into a room and hearing a couple argue about something, you know, it's like, you know, I don't have the whole story and most things we're not given the whole story, but I mean, like, I just I like to leave it enough ambiguity, shall we say,
hmm
to let people use their own imagination and have fun with it. Like, so I mean, I don't try to make it too clear of a thing, but sometimes I do.
Well, yeah,
I'm the
and
opposite
what?
lyrically. I make things
Go ahead.
clear. I'm
You
the guy
make
that's talking about like here's the room and this is what it looks like. I always try to make it like a visual thing when so you can always tell what song I've written lyrics for when it's very
there's a
just
place for that. I mean, yeah,
yeah. That's just the way I've always written. Yeah.
and maybe a mix of the two sometimes. I feel like that's in these
Yeah.
songs too sometimes. What you said about drag is pretty much exactly what I got from it. I really loved it. Of course, there's some giveaways like, reduce you to buzzwords in a stump speech,
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah.
There's some give that it's regard
Yeah, but
related to political
I don't
stuff.
name which political figure
You don't,
I'm
yes.
talking. I don't want to date it.
Well, I mean, of course I kept going back to 2 elections ago, right?
Yeah.
That shitstorm of people hating each other, like,
Yeah.
and I just really loved the sentiment behind this. Um, uh, don't let it drag you out where you can't touch, right? You can't touch, and then that last line, right? It's all fixed around the dollar, you know.
Actually,
So
I stole
true.
that line from like a
So
Vietnam vet, like
did
on some
you?
YouTube video or something. Like they were interviewing some guy,
Well,
and that's all he kept saying over and over again. And I was just like, all right,
It's all fixed around $1,
but that's a
man.
great way to say like what everybody says, follow the
yeah,
money. You
it
start
really
looking at
is. It
shit
really
and it's
is.
like
Yeah,
follow the money,
yeah.
Um, but yeah, I really love that. I think I'll jump to the end real quick just because we're talking about stuff like fault lines. Is that what it's called? Yeah, fault lines. The last song. Um, I really related to that. That resonated with me too. Like I got a whole vibe of like sort of like nationalism. I don't know if that's where you
Yeah.
were going, but that's what I
Oh
felt.
no, no, that's pretty much
Like
it.
look at us and you know, the freaking our freaking country. It's
Yeah,
like
the
we're
moment
better than
anybody starts
everyone
talking
else.
about,
You
yeah,
know,
like
we
how history's looking on you, and
well,
like,
that's what, and I don't want to get super political, I back 2 elections ago, I was like, listen, I'm politically agnostic. I'm not even going to talk about this stuff because you're not going to convince, people by beating them over the head, either side. It's not going to happen. You're doing more damage than good. And, but, I lost my train of thought. Oh, yeah. But, I I just lost my train of thought. Sorry. Oh no, I got it again because I was looking at this. So, it's talking about you're talking about the face of history grinning from ear to ear over killing, right? You don't imagine the look on the face of history grinning from ear to ear over the killing that's been made. And back 2 elections ago, I was like, listen, like make America great again. Like what was it that there were so many things that weren't great. Like what are you talking about?
Yeah,
You know? What we did to the Japanese community. I mean, like what we did to the Native American. I mean, you're
well, that's
talking
what it
like,
starts off with the song, between the mythic past. It's like they're talking about, like
So it didn't
how
exist.
great things
the
were.
mythic past, right? Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, I really like that. I really like that a
And that
lot.
whole "Make America Great Again" thing, it was used back with Reagan, and it was used Nixon, I think, but definitely with Reagan. I mean, that was his slogan.
I mean, it's make rich people rich again. I mean, kind of. I
I mean, they
mean,
were decrying the end of America in like 1981 or whatever, and like now here we are, and they're saying the same thing. But
yeah,
like when like whatever that president is in office, it's all great, and then we get out again. You got to
cycles.
make it great again. Like
Yeah,
it's just so dumb. It's just so dumb. It's also
yeah,
like
it really is. It really
silly.
is. So yeah, I appreciated that.
I'm gonna
Um,
start it on that.
we got some good ones to jump into here though, real quick. So I Love You Burning Hell, great song. You guys said you do that one live. I think I mentioned I like the little flock of seagull flock of seagulls like guitar. I don't know what you call that, where you drag, I don't know what it is. Is it dragging the pick along the guitar? Yeah, that's what
Oh
I
yeah,
thought.
yeah. The pick drag.
That's awesome. Um, but yeah, that one's well, the title's kind of gives away that it's a little bit dark, but um I thought it was
That was what
cool.
it was a prompt. That one was a prompt. I said, Ben,
Oh, was it?
would you write a song called "I Love You, Burn in Hell"? I just had this idea, and he's like, "All right," and he wrote it.
I like
You
doing
had the
those.
idea for
Fun
music
homework.
and write
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
I like to
Yeah.
give Ben homework. Yeah.
But I mean, like I said, you're a poet, man. Yeah.
Thank you.
I love
Yeah.
you burning hell, then pace the distance in between. And it's I get this whole thing of like these relationships, right, that start out a certain way, and it's like you know, um a lot of times they don't end up, where they start. And it's like that, yeah, you're basically just headed down towards the burn in hell part, right? When you start very
That's exactly.
dark, very dark. I was trying to think of
Well, I mean, it
there was a
works
Lisa
because
Loeb song. What was it? The time
Each
before
day.
the time before meeting and finally leaving is sometimes called falling in love. That was that that was her song, and it's basically that's the idea I
We
get.
we worked on a Lisa Loeb shoot one time, me and Ben.
Really?
Lisa Loeb was doing a children's I forget video
yeah,
of record.
she had a children's record and she was making videos for like every song, and
Wow.
We
Huh.
worked. We were like production assistants.
Oh,
actually
very interesting.
the night that Trump got elected, I was making puppets for one of her videos.
There you go.
Is the night Trump got elected kind of like 9/11? Like everyone remembers where they were and what
Yeah.
they were doing?
Yeah. What were you doing
Not
the night?
funny. Not funny, but
I was
oh
making puppets
geez.
for Lisa Loeb.
Yeah.
Making
Anytime I'm in
puppets
a
for
room where a bunch of women are crying, I remember it.
Were
Yeah.
you crying too?
I couldn't let it, I didn't want to get carried away right then.
I actually walked. I was at a friend's house, and his wife was in the front lawn. She went down on her knees, arms in the air, and screaming like as loud as possible into the air. And I just left and got in my car. That was what happened.
It's kind of
There was lots
surreal.
of that.
Yeah.
There was lots of that. Yeah. Oh man.
Anyway,
Okay, one of my favorites here, machine language.
mhm.
Because I'm still trying to figure out how I want to live, right? And I'm trying to figure out how I want to live and if it's like French people fuck. And if it is like French people fuck, what does that mean exactly?
Um,
How do
Oh,
French
that's a great
people
one. That
fuck?
was yeah. We were in Quebec City playing a show, and Ben was outside smoking on the back deck, and it was in like the old city of Quebec City. It's like it's very ancient looking and like.
I was smoking Canadian weed I'd never smoked on the back deck as well.
And we were all inside, and he wrote those lyrics because like there were French people
Was it
fucking.
French Canadian weed?
French
Or was it
Canadian people fucking, but that
there you
doesn't
go.
work on the lines. But like upstairs, he's like, I think those French people upstairs are fucking. And I, like I was just listening to them fucking. It was beautiful to hear them fuck on the second
I
floor.
thought they were fighting at first, but then I realized
They were fucking.
They're
I was
really
like, "Shouldn't we
angry
call the
at each
cops?"
other.
And I'm
That's like the little kid who the cats are like, you find, oh, those cats are really angry at each other.
Exactly. But that just goes to tell you, don't say anything in front of Ben. You'll end up in a song. So
Yeah, don't fuck in front of me.
yeah, you'll end up in. Yeah.
But yeah, see, that's a line I had I was self-conscious about it. Like I remember coming to Joe and be like, because one of the guys that we were trying to play with at the time and mentioned something about it, he's like, what, do French people fuck differently? And I was like, no. But like I remember having a problem with that. But like, yeah, it was just one of those things I wrote down at the time when that happened. And it's just like an over romanticized, like kind of throwaway thing. Like, I mean, it's not it's supposed to be kind of laughed at because it's like you're asking someone how they want to live, and like this is the only idea they have about it. It's
all right. Well, I love it. And this, I keep switching what my favorite is. I think this is my favorite song right now. Like that's stuck in my head. But it's pretty dark. But this is one of those ones that's kind of dark, but it's got that, for me, it's got that feeling of by putting it out there, there's a commonality in that, and these, like I said, man, I keep saying it, you're a poet, man. Our works ourselves unrecognized, for all that's left to see is mangled code in glitchy time on both sides of the screen. So what I pull, the You're the Beholder thing, is like, both sides of the screen, that end of life thing, or your end of your journey, and what you've contributed and what you've been recognized for. It's like born and bred, or what is it? We're mostly bred. We're mostly born and bred to run the machine's dream, keeping it alive. I don't know. Really cool.
Could be capitalism. Could be a lot of things.
Could be a lot of things. Could be a lot of things. Could be Western, like you said, capitalism, Western living. We come out and it's like, oh, it's all designated. Here's what you do, right?
Yeah.
Here's
how
it goes.
Yeah.
Here's where you fit. So, and you guys are kind of doing something different than that, which is cool. Yeah. Kind of ties into a lot of what Joe, I think you post on Threads. I love reading those posts because they're great. They're not like antagonistic or anything. They're just like these, like, a lot of artists, this or that,
what do you think about this?
It's like, what do you think? That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, I think if you start trying to come off like you're trying to teach somebody something, they instantly turn away, especially musicians, because they have a rebellious streak and they're like, who's this guy? Who the hell does he think he is? And I don't want to come off that way. I just like have an observation. I'm like, why are we in this position in music right now that this is so difficult for us? And why does it feel so hopeless? More so than ever before. And so I always try to find those things like, well, this is wrong, and or maybe this, and then I'll go into some creative stuff too. But I feel like it's more like just trying to figure out what the heck's going on. I like Threads because it's become like a kind of an arts think tank. At least my experience with it is nobody can show what they're doing there. It's not a place to pick up fans. It's a place to discuss the state of things, kind of like what Twitter was a long time ago. And that's why all of like the journalists would gather on Twitter to discuss, whatever their fields were. So hopefully that continues that way. But I feel like that's been a pretty nice experience there because I approach it differently. Like Instagram and Facebook and TikTok and all those are about like, this is what's going on. Here's what we got coming up. And they're all very different, but Threads, I don't really do that. Threads is more like, let's talk about what the hell is going on right now with everything,
Yeah. And also there's like a real supportive community there, I think, for the arts and music and things like that. I think it's great. Yeah. So love that one. Love Sleep Billy Sleep.
That's a weird one, right?
It's a weird one. There's a part in here when I think it just goes to the bass line. And it sounds like there might be talking or something in the background. And I love it when songs do that. Like, especially when you can't quite hear exactly what it is. But yeah, I'm really starting to dig that one quite a bit.
About a kid with multiple personalities, right?
Yeah, there was actually a guy from a doc on Netflix I watched.
Okay.
Billy, I forget his last name, but he was like a rapist or a killer or something, but famous multiple personality case. But also, like, they didn't know if the doctor was like threading it along or
Yeah.
like
Exploited.
that's yeah.
Yeah.
So just the interplay of trying to get in that guy's multiple heads. I don't know. I watch a lot of crime dramas.
That's a nice warm blanket thing to watch, like comforting, right? Which is
Yeah,
so weird.
strangely
It's so
enough.
weird that everybody, like so many people love true crime and crime dramas.
Oh, every night my wife puts on CSI before I go to bed.
It's like, it's like, why are we comforted by that stuff?
Yeah, I know.
So bizarre, but it's true.
I just let 48 hours run. I'm starting to run out of murders here in America. I'm watching Australian crimes now.
Oh, Netflix
Oh,
has
wow.
new ones coming up.
People just
Yeah.
aren't getting killed fast enough for me to watch.
We'll see if we'll have to do something about that, I guess. I don't know. We'll put an ad on Craigslist and see if we can do
Yeah, right. It's funny.
Okay, Automatic for the Modern Age. Guys play that one. I could see that one. I love that, like super fast pace. I could see that in concert working really well. Kind of, kind of ties into the machine. How is it I don't learn this helplessness that was sold to me at every turn? They just call me Automatic. So does that mean I owe them the rest of my life? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how I feel about some people, like, that I know that they've kind of been told like what's going on with them at every turn. Yeah, pretty much. And like I don't know, like I have a problem with people telling me who I am. Like
Defining you. Yeah.
yeah. I
Yeah.
don't like that at all. I feel like they haven't spent the time with me to make those judgments. Not like I have, I guess.
Right.
Although I'm a little biased because I'm me.
You have the experience with you.
Yeah, that's
And
how
they
I
don't.
feel. I don't
I mean,
know.
that's
Like,
how we should look at everybody, right?
yeah. Like
Like, you know exactly what they've been through,
Yeah.
No, exactly.
Yeah. So your solution, Ben, to dissociate then? Is that what your solution is?
Through music.
That's a great little song. That one's kind of a little oddball set in there musically.
It's a pop song. Yeah, it's like a Wham
It's a
song.
great song. It reminds me of the Doves or something. I don't know why, but you
I
guys
love the
familiar with the
Doves.
Doves?
Yeah,
The Doves are so awesome. I don't know why it reminds me
just
of
brought
them.
them up the other day, like trying to figure, because like Black and White, that the first track.
Oh, Black and White Town, I think.
Yeah, that Motown.
Yeah, has that Motown.
Oh my God, that's a great.
We were doing a song where like we could do it like this, or the Doves did it like that, and like looking at that.
Yeah, they're great. Every record they put out, just have they're a great band. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's another
Absolutely.
English,
So yeah,
English band.
that's who came to my, for some reason, the Doves came to mind with that one. I like that one. Yeah, but it is a little oddball sitting there, but it's well placed, I think. And then yeah, we got the fault lines. I kept thinking of that it would fit into the 80s, like Simple Minds a little bit, kind of all those synths and stuff.
We were
and
thinking
the way
like Midnight Oil when we wrote it, like afterwards.
Okay,
like,
sure.
Anthemic, like
Another great band. Finally got to see them.
Kind of funny when you think something sounds like it when someone says something completely different for a song, and you're like, you don't hear that?
Happens.
No, I don't hear that.
Yeah, it always happens.
Laurel Yanni.
Yeah.
All the people I talk is like, oh, I heard this. Oh, well, I was going for this. So did you not hear that? And I was like, okay, well, yeah, okay, I can hear that.
Yeah, but it's never too far off. It's not like it sounds like a Yanni song. Speaking of Yanni,
well, Midnight Oil had quite a little variety in their songs.
Yeah, especially the early stuff was like pub rock.
They're kind of like you guys in that it kind of all fit together, but there was a lot of difference. There was a variability, but it was all fit together well. So
a lot, like I said, a lot of those 80s bands that were artistic bands at the time, they all had different records. I mean, Spandau Ballet's first record compared to like the later stuff. OMD's first record,
OMD.
Enola Gay and all.
Even Human League, I think, yeah.
Human League. Oh my God. First Being Boiled and like, yeah, from like Don't You Want Me, and like there's so much different stuff. I mean, Soft Cell, like This Night in Sodom is my favorite Soft Cell record, and that's like a guitar record kind of. I don't know if you ever listened to that one.
Yeah.
That was a later record for them. But like, yeah, I mean, it just would just do whatever they felt, all those bands,
Yeah. Talk. You guys listen to Talk at all?
Love Talk.
Talk. They had their first 2 albums, and then they
And
completely
then they
changed things.
created post rock. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Yeah.
Yeah. So very cool. Well, that pretty much covers everything, all the questions I had.
Cool.
Like I said, I'm gonna try to get out and see you guys. You guys want to? I think well, the list I saw for your tour, I think had you guys starting up around the 15th of March. Is that
Yeah,
right?
we're doing a couple dates in Ohio, and then like the next month,
Cincinnati.
early on, we're gonna start going a lot busier. But yeah, but like I said, if you can connect us with somebody out there,
I'm gonna do my best.
I do all the bookings, so just hit me up via email and connect me with somebody, and I'll talk to them and see if they want to book it.
Cool. Yeah, it's great talking to you guys. Thanks again for
Yeah,
your
you
time.
too.
Like I said, thanks for the
like listening
patience.
to
I know I
me.
kept telling you guys, hey, we're gonna do this, and but I do it all myself. It's just like my side job passion, thing that I do, editing and all that stuff. So, and I've been fortunate enough to get connected with a lot of people who want to talk to me and stuff, and so then that's good. So,
It's good.
this will be a great episode. I'm excited. Jim keeps texting me. Jim Anderson. He's like, I'm really excited to hear I'm really excited to hear your chat.
He's cool, man.
And I was like, I got those pre-Zoom chat meeting new people nerves. He's like, oh, they're great guys. I was like, I know. I heard them on the other podcast. They're great guys. They talk, because sometimes you talk to people and it's like you get like one-word answers. Yes. No.
Oh, you can't stop me from talking.
And I knew Joe would be talking.
Shut up.
And I was like, yeah, I know they're gonna talk, but it's just one of those things about me. I'm gonna be, meeting new people. It's a little bit nervous, but
you put us at ease. We feel very comfortable with you.
Yeah, I'll be looking forward to having a beer with you somewhere in the Midwest.
Yeah, or maybe down there.
That beer.
I'm gonna try to get down to Nashville this year. I hope I can.
Yeah, come down.
Yeah, because there's I don't know if you've ever heard of the band. I came out of the Christian culture, so the Choir was one of my big bands that I loved.
Actually,
and I got to talk to Steve on one of my episodes, and they're down there in Nashville, right?
Yeah.
Steve Taylor's down there in Nashville. There's so many people down there in Nashville, from that culture.
Jars of clay.
Jars of clay down there, yeah. So
there's a guy that I see at work regularly that used to play with Rich Mullins back in the day.
Wow. Yeah.
Ragamuffin band.
Yeah. Oh yeah, those were the days, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm gonna try to make it down there.
Good.
Thanks for your time.
Oh no, thank you, Jim.
Yeah, thank you.
Have a great evening. I'll be in touch. I'll reach out for Lost Frequency.
All right. And I will deliver.
Yeah. I'll try to, like I said, I'll reach out. Steve Tulipana is the guy that I know, I've met. And he's he's the part owner. There's 2 owners to that record bar. So I'll reach out and see. I mean, I don't know anything about, you know more about the business and bookings and stuff like that.
You our little bio and links.
Shoot it to me. Yeah.
I'll shoot it to you in the email you send, then you can forward it to him.
So I'll reach out to him directly, and then, like I said, I'll do some, social media type bombarding,
We have friends
what happens
that would come out and see us. Honestly, we do. I just I have people reach out occasionally like, hey, when are you coming out here? And I just was never able to get it connected. So yeah, maybe we can do it. That's great.
We'll see what we can do.
Cool.
All right, guys. Keep it up. Keep pulling songs off that little thumb drive or whatever you got.
Trust me, we've got a whole series of you'll be sick of us by the end of this year. We got 20 songs coming out.
You're probably working on stuff now, aren't you?
Well, it was today. Yeah, it was. But 2 weeks, 2 weeks from today, into the end of the year, every 2 weeks there's going to be a new song.
Oh, I think I no, I either read that or heard it. Like you're going to start doing like releasing the singles, right?
Yes,
Releasing singles. Yeah.
single, and at the end of the year do a
Yeah.
double vinyl. So
Oh, nice. Nice.
so that the
Cool.
people that actually like to collect the things could get it. So
That'll be me.
all right, cool, man.
All
Awesome.
right,
Well,
take
hopefully
care,
I'll see you
guys.
before then.
Really great
Cool.
talking to you.
Yeah, you
Talk
too,
again
man.
soon,
Thanks so
all right?
much. Yep.
All right. Take care.